Hello, this is Truth Be Told Transformation, and I'm Bonnie Burkert, here to share tools for transformation, to live your highest truth. One of the tools of transformation, I feel, is a teacher, is learning, is community. And we do that a lot of times in community. So on the next couple of episodes, I'm going to be sharing with the teachers of the Disclosure Fest community, which will be happening at Lake Passaic, which is in sort of in the Santa Clarita area, close to LA, and that's happening at the summer solstice. So one of the presenters who will be there this year is the very lovely Althea Lucrezia. Althea, how are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me here. I'm doing very well today. Thank you. How are you?
That's great. So we are excited now. Do you live in the Los Angeles area now? I know you're from Italy originally, correct?
Yes, that is correct. I'm from Italy, but I currently live in South Africa.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. I just had a chance to visit. We'll be sure to talk about that after the show. I love it down there. We're really excited to have you here in just about 6 weeks from the time of taping. And, by the time, it'll be close. Summer solstice. So tell us about the energies that you feel will be happening around summer solstice 2024.
Ooh, the solstice is always like a very interesting time, and to some extent a question mark as well. It's almost like when you have the energies of the eclipse. We did just go through a solar and lunar eclipse. So I feel like this will be the next big jump that is happening this year energetically. My advice to anyone is to really just stay present, stay grounded. Sometimes what happens with solstice energies is that you get to face things and things come up to the surface to be released. A lot of ancestral clearing, karmic timelines clearing, and especially in a space like, so big like Disclosure Fest, with all these energies and all these people doing this beautiful work and all the grids that are activating there. So I'm very, very excited to be there. And yeah, I think because of so many timelines merging, it's difficult to say exactly. Everything happens on an individual level. So some people might feel it in some ways, some people might feel it differently, but generally for sure a time of shifting, changing, and integration.
Excellent. Yeah, I can definitely feel it. It's been a wild year, and then we also just had again this dates the show a little bit, but we also just had the incredible solar storm, which I thought was quite powerful. It just happened this past weekend. Did you have a chance to experience in South Africa?
Yes, and there were the lights as well. There were the lights all over the world. And even here in South Africa, we had, I think it was red lights I didn't personally see. So when I tuned into that, I saw a dragon grid activation on a planetary level. So it was dragon energy and codes that came through for people to integrate.
Well, fantastic. And I'd like to talk to you more about the grids, please, and just help me and our listeners understand working with the planetary grid and what that's like.
So it really depends. We all carry our own vibrational frequency imprint as we navigate, our day-to-day life. And some people like me who have been doing energy work for quite a while, we get called to specific areas around the world. Sometimes we get put in specific places. We need to do kind of like rituals or working with, the heart center or the light language. And sometimes just being in a place can be enough to activate. So the grids are basically if you imagine like the ley lines of the earth where they cross, there is pockets of energy that open. And whenever we also have very intense planetary shifts that are happening, or when you have, numerology dates like 11/11, 4/4, or when we have solstice, when we have planetary alignments, we have a lot of energy that is coming up in these pockets that are where the ley lines cross. So there is So there's planetary grids, there's galactic grids. There's a lot of different grids that people can work with. But generally, I think when it comes down to, doing this type of work, it's very intuitive. You are very divinely guided wherever you go. And for me, it's interesting because sometimes I just get told, oh, go into this place. And I don't really know until I get there. And then I understand, oh, I'm clearing a timeline. So like I cleared a grid for a mermaid massacre a few years ago in Mozambique. I was sent there on the beach to do this beautiful energy work. So it's always full of surprises, and we are also still learning, as we navigate the times day to day.
Well, Althea, I just want you to know this is something that is very resonant for me personally, and I love to learn more about your process. And again, as we share tools for transformation on the show, I think some of the details that you give, and maybe people don't know exactly how to do it, but maybe just how to start. And listen, maybe you want to give some hints at how this started coming through you and how others could maybe tune in to their possibilities to heal themselves and the planet.
Yeah, of course. The most important thing is really just to stay present and stay grounded. We all have a channel. We all have psychic abilities. We all have psychic intuition. Like, I'm not special. We can all do it, It's just a matter of practice. It's like a sport. It's like exercise, like anything. The more you do, the better you get at it. So listening to yourself, cultivating practices, meditating, movement, really, really important. The body, the physical, the body knows, listening to the somatic responses on a physical level. And by being present and anchored in the moment, you are then able to really see all the possible timelines and make the choice that is for your highest alignment. And when you start operating from a baseline vibrational frequency that is anchored within your truth and within your highest alignment, then you can't really go wrong. And again, you have this sense of being divinely guided and operating from a space of claircognizance, which is this intuition and this innate knowing. So on a practical level, yes, I would say tools like meditation, being present, but also following your joy, following your passion, following what your heart yearns and what your heart calls for you to do, following things that make you happy, and then being in a space of objective observation. So acknowledging your emotions, but not kind of like getting overpowered by them, allowing them for what they are, feeling them, and then releasing them and letting them go. So operating from a space of compassionate non-attachment and objective observation.
All right, wise words. Wise words, whether you're helping heal the planet or just get through a regular day in communication with, work colleagues or something like that. No, I appreciate it. The presence and the grounding. A lot of times we have visualizations for grounding, and then, of course, there's the practice of actually shoes off on the earth. Do you want to give any other tips and what it's like for you, just making sure that you stay grounded? You do a lot of work dealing with higher frequencies. So how to handle that?
Of course. So for me personally, I have a lot of tools that keep me grounded, but for anyone really, what you can do is finding something that is creative, that you are passionate about, and then brings you in the moment. So it can be something as simple as journaling or drawing. Anything that brings you in the now, in the present moment, is going to be grounding. So for me, like, my hair is very red because it helps me ground and stay present in the now. As you mentioned, I work in these spaces for most of the day and most of my time. So I need to ground a lot more than your average person. I use a lot exercise, yoga, but even like core, cardio, weight training, things like that really help me stay embodied. Food, anything with roots, potatoes, carrots, beetroots, anything that comes from the earth can be grounding. Everything done with intention. If you are intentionally wearing a red t-shirt, because red is the color of the root chakra, and you're saying, I'm going to wear a red t-shirt, it's going to help me ground. That's what it's going to do. So you are the most powerful tool that there is out there. So you create your reality. So you can set your intention of what you would like to assist you to ground, apart from obviously, the more standard things like going out in nature and sitting in the water, working with the elements. But yeah, again, coming back to the moment, coming back to the now.
Okay. Really good suggestions. Thank you. And good reminders that I'm sure people know, and they know instinctively, but you have to listen. You have to tune in. So we have the privilege of you and your international experience, and I would love to know a little bit more about what the different communities are like where you go, what you're feeling with the energy of the continent you're on versus coming over here to North America. I just was, I mentioned briefly that I was just in Africa, so I had the chance to experience it there for the first time, and I would just like to know what it's like working there, doing your work, your healing work, your planetary, evolutionary work. What is it like in a massive place like that versus, say, what I consider kind of a high-frequency place of Los Angeles? A lot of people doing work, a lot of people buzzing around. I don't know. Tell us your experience.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question, because I was recently just now in LA in February, and I did Los Angeles and New York in the space of about 3 weeks, and the difference was insane. Los Angeles, I felt, has a very similar frequency to Cape Town.
Yeah.
There's the ocean. I find wherever there's the ocean cleans. There's air, there's wind. Manhattan, I found very dense. I was staying in Manhattan. So New York, I found quite a dense grid, which is quite similar to what is going on in Europe right now. I was in Europe, in Italy and in the UK back in December, and I found quite a bit of density there. I'm going to be honest with you, like what I felt most of the density within the grid in Europe was the smoke and pollution, and the actual the air in itself is a lot dirtier, if it makes sense, which is probably also what's going on in New York and in Manhattan. And that's why it feels denser from an energetic perspective. I find that the density can affect the sleep. But I must say, Los Angeles to me was very high vibrational frequency, very beautiful, very expansive. I just felt really light when I was there, and flying from there into New York City, I felt like quite a big density difference. And I was living back in New York about 10 years ago, so I had anchored into that grid before. I just didn't have the cognitive understanding of how these things work from an energetic perspective like I do now. So it obviously doesn't compare. At the time, I didn't really pick it up, or maybe it wasn't necessarily as dense. But South Africa, I mean, it's beautiful. I work a lot here with the land, not per se with the people. My contract with the people is more with America and Europe, but from a land perspective, South Africa, I'm anchored here, and I'm also holding grid here in a specific way. I was relocated around the country a few times. I think I can compare the energy frequency. Well, this is what I've channeled, but I haven't been there. South Africa, Australia, because there is a lot of very, very ancient codes within the land and within the Aboriginals in Australia, and the African people here in Africa. So there's a lot of codes that are carried through that within the land, and both these pieces of land have a very diverse mix of cultures, which obviously is the same also as America. But these two places to me look very pivotal in the ascension and awakening process.
Right on. When you were talking about that before you said Australia, I was thinking New Zealand. So I just like kind of tuned into that, and it's really I really appreciate you giving us details of how you experience the energy of these localities. So it's not, it's some very real visceral measurements, right? There's more people. It's closer in. Measurements in terms of the geography and things like that. It's good. I think these are nice ways for people to look at where it starts for someone like yourself, who is attuned to sort of up-leveling our energy for self as well as the collective. And yet you're helping us understand where to start. So I appreciate that. So let's bring it back to your appearance at Disclosure Fest. This will help us learn a little bit more of all the different work that you do and how people can connect with you and work with you. So I'd love to know what kind of a workshop you'll be doing at the event. Again, Summer Solstice of 2024 at Lake Passaic outside of LA. So Mass Meditation Initiative. What's it going to be like for you when you're out here, Althea?
So I've got a 90-minute workshop. It's very interesting with me. Like, I never really know exactly what I'm doing until I get there.
Oh, okay. I can relate. Sort of like me and my interview questions for you.
Yeah, there you go. But I do have a general outline and guideline that I follow. I do bring people through a somatic release. So we'll be working on a physical level. I will be doing light language. I will be channeling, and I will have time for Q&A and answering questions. But generally, when it comes to these events, because the timelines are changing so rapidly and so quickly that I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do until I'm there. But there will be light language, there will be somatic release, there will be Q&A, there will be circle time. So all of these will definitely be included in my workshop.
All right, that's great. So let's bring it back to, you're here. This is a chance for people to see you in person while you're in this country. But do you have online offerings? What are other ways that you work with people?
So when I'll be in, I'm going to speak about my in-person first. When I'm going to be in LA just after the Disclosure Fest, I will be holding one-on-ones, and I'm holding also my own light language activation workshop on the 28th. It's Friday 28th. It will be from 6 to 8 p.m. in just near Santa Monica. And then the week after that, I'm going to be in San Diego speaking at the Starseed Conference, which is a day event, and you can find tickets for that on my website, althealucrezia.com. And it's going to be online and in person. So, anyone can participate in it. As for my online offerings, I offer a few different things. I offer a 6-week and 6-month program. I train people to become energy workers and to then do what I do, but within their own capabilities and within their own direction. So if you're meant to kind of like do it in the same way as me, but with your own twist, if it makes sense. So really just helping you become a better version of yourself and activating your soul's potential. I do Akashic clearing. I do light language channeling. I've got workshops on my website for releasing psychic attacks, releasing attachment, abundance manifestation. I'm going to do an abundance mentorship in August as well. I've got quite a lot of things on my website. You can also just send me a question through from the website. And then this is my once in a lifetime exclusive offer. I am running a Costa Rica retreat in November of this year. I've got a few spaces left. It's going to be 6 days, 5 nights. There will be light language and activations every single day. We'll be working with the Dragon Collective. There's going to be dragon body activations. And also we'll be working with the elementals. We're going to be working in the forest. We're going to be working in waterfalls. We're going to be working with cacao and some shamanic medicine. So that's an offer that I have right now. And all of this is all in my website, or you can also contact me through my Instagram, Light Codes by ALA, and then from there funnel through to my website.
Okay, for those of people that are listening, not seeing on the YouTube show, Althea is spelled Althea, and then last name Lucrezia.com. Just so in case you want to find her with more information. Boy, you were describing Costa Rica, and I was getting goosebumps. You never know. Maybe that's a good sign. Dragon body, you mentioned that. Can we talk about dragons? It's one of my favorite subjects, and I want to really get my head around it. So help me understand that energy.
Yes, of course. So I actually recently had a workshop when I was in LA that was working with the Dragon Collective. So the dragons are very, very present in the ascension and awakening process of the planet. They live here, but they live in another dimension, which is almost like overlapping Earth. And how I actually see them from a more 3D physical level is in the sky and in the clouds and in the mountains and in kind of like very big, powerful nature places. So dragon energy is very, very powerful. A lot of people here have had dragon incarnation, and dragon body activations are basically when your body starts expanding and activating to a certain point where you actually like start to mold and form into a dragon. That's literally like how it happens. I've seen people literally shape shift into these majestic, huge beings, and the vibrational frequency that they carry is very high, also very powerful. There needs to be a certain level of heart opening for you to be able to channel that. So I feel like the soul needs to have gone through certain lessons and certain experiences to be able to hold that container and that frequency within the human physical vessel, because sometimes this that we have can be a little bit limiting when you're operating on a multidimensional level. But definitely, guys, call on the dragons. They're here, they're assisting you. They can help with removing blockages, with clearing things in your way, removing people from your life, energetic boundaries. So yeah, they are here, they are helping, they are very present. So all you have to do is ask for them and they will come and assist.
All right. Thank you. I'm encouraged. Year of the Dragon, right? Here we are in 2024. So let's do it. Now, one of the other things I found on your website was, I believe you do work with Archangel Metatron. Yeah. Can you please tell us more about that?
Yes, of course. So I started working with Metatron from the very beginning. Him and Mary Magdalene are two of the ascended masters and beings that I work with a lot. And I think Metatron is really great because he is one of the few beings out there which actually has had a human experience. So he can really understand and resonate and relate to us human beings navigating this. For me, Metatron, I connect a lot with him when I'm in the astral space. So when I'm astral traveling, astral projecting in my dream realm. But I consistently call on him for gridding. So when I call for gridding, and you'll see now when I do some light language, how I call, he comes and grids. And it's almost like with him and the Archangelic Collective, they're always with me because obviously they're operating on a multidimensional level. So in my personal experience, I can only speak very highly of Archangel Metatron and my connection with him and the work that, I have done with him and together.
All right. Well, somebody else I want to know. I'd like to meet the dragons and Metatron. You too. I'm calling you in right now. So you mentioned when you do some light language work for us, and tell us a little bit about what it feels when it comes through, and please, we would welcome that experience if you are so guided.
Yeah, of course. Everyone is different. When I first started channeling light language publicly, I think it was back in 2017, and I had this conversation earlier. I was just on another interview about half an hour, 45 minutes ago. And I was saying that no one, was channeling yet. There were maybe like 10 light language channelers online, and now it's grown exponentially, and it's so beautiful. And to me, it is a new technology that's coming in from our galactic brothers and sisters to assist, the ascension and the awakening process. And it's an expression of the soul, and it can be expressed in many different ways. For me, it's a tool. I did my classical Reiki training about 10 years ago, and I see the light language as almost an evolution of that. It can be sung, it can be written, it can be spoken, it can be danced, it can be moved, it can be expressed in many different ways. So I just invite you guys to close your eyes and start anchoring into your body as you find your comfortable breathing rhythm. With every inhale, you breathe in light. And with every exhale, you release all that doesn't serve you anymore. And as you relax your body, relax your system, relax your energy field, you stay in a space of openness, in a space of oneness. And as we call on the Archangelic Collective, Michael to the south, Uriel to the north, Raphael to the east, and Gabriel to the west, we call on Archangel Metatron with his blue cloak of protection from above, and Sandalphon to seal the grid from below. As we call on our higher selves, our spirit guides, anyone else who wishes to be present for the greatest and highest good, you're welcome in this space. Remember to listen with your heart and let go of the mind. Yashiro tokuko no ishitaka. Triatarea te umrasi sorokoro isha yenataka. Triatera ate oro isera yeshi. Opening. Opening, 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 opening systems. Rasietaka, korokoro tietaka, ra, trena yetaka, roia shetaka, tianaria, tre, atre, atreya, te oro isera yataka, kaka, 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 yani arra yesata, treana te krik, orok, ok, uma, ia isera, isera, te ora isera, opening, 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 releasing, 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 releasing. Releasing, 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 expanding, releasing, expanding, 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 cleaning, releasing, 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 letting go, 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 letting go of all that does not serve you. Quiero umrai sierataka. Taranare atre uro isietaka. Triatarei ares sayataka ara isherayataka. Tre yo 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 raya nate tuning systems, expanding, 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 expanding into more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 anchoring into blueprint structure, activating, 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 attuning more light, divine rays coming in, aurora rays, rainbow rays, angelic rays, anchoring, 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 letting go, letting go, letting go, expanding, 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 expanding into truth, into love, unconditional love, expansion, expansion of the heart center, opening, 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 new codes coming in, anchoring, 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 anchoring into blueprint structure, activating, activating, activating neurons, connecting synapses, tuning, tuning, tuning. Rasietakare tre umro ishiratakara tre 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 ro iserayataka. Taina ira oro ishataka. Treina reatakri atre yotoko. Naya te aishirayata. Tre akiro umra si nare grounding, 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 anchoring, grounding, anchoring, 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 grounding, anchoring, 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 grounding, 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 anchoring, anchoring, anchoring systems. Takia sisara yetaka. Tre uro ishiraya sera ieshina atre isero koro ishira upgrading, 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 upgrading. Upgrading, upgrading cranial structure. Anchoring, anchoring. Anchoring, attuning, anchoring, attuning, 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 grounding, 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 clean peripheral, clean, 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 closing, closing, sealing, closing, sealing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing. Balancing, balancing. Balancing, 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 masculine and feminine. Haishia ishirayatakara. Triatikaro kokoro ishinayatarasi sarokoro ishinata. Triate koko ishinaya niatara ishitaka. Shukuruko ishinataka. Tituturo ishinataka. As you gently ground back into the body and come back to the physical vessel. How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, that was so intense in a beautiful way. I was definitely hearing the toning in my ears, the frequency sound in my ears. And it was interesting to watch it go through waves. So sometimes it was higher and then there was, it was still strong, but a more gentle, powerful wave. Large, like with size. Oh my gosh, how unique. I can only imagine what it must be like to experience this in person. And I mean, that was, 7 minutes. I mean, wow, what it must be like to work with you, for more time than that. I mean, what that must do. So when you offer this, and thank you, grazie. When you offer this to people, tell me what their experience might be and what to do after. Do they receive a recording and listen to it regularly? Are you together in person and then they go off and integrate the work? And what is...
It really depends, yeah. I mean, when I do online, I will do live channeling. I have services where people get recordings as well of me channeling. But generally, it takes up to 3 weeks for full integration of the codes. So sometimes the system needs to recalibrate. You might feel like you need to eat more, sleep more, like you're getting triggered more easily, like you don't want to be around people. Emotions can come up. The codes are intelligent. They work in the quantum realm. So they work beyond the concepts of space and time. I'm just a channel, I'm just a vessel. So how the codes are integrated within the system of the individual, it's up to their own system. This is why I say, to listen with the heart and stay open. I'm not per se doing, I'm just kind of like facilitating, and then the people move and navigate through their own healing.
I mean, it's just so awesome. You just click right back into being this eloquent speaker, after being, I was transformational for, I saw you transform as you brought that through for us. It was really, really strong, for sure. So, and thank you again. In our final moments, I'd like to, this is a question I always like to ask everybody, because really the mission of our show, our channel Club Paranormal and the Truth Be Told shows, is really truly to offer platform to people that are doing this light work, like you, if you wish to call it that. And I'd like to know, how do you feel we're doing out there? I mean, you've been involved for years. You're in different parts of the world. You're at different festivals, talking to a variety of people. How do you feel we're evolving?
I love it. I love humanity. I love being human. I think we're doing amazingly. I think people should be more gentle to themselves. I don't think people should guilt trip themselves or be harsh on themselves. Like, we need to start playing again more. And this is what I'm seeing. I've seen an exponential rise of the vibrational frequency. I've seen the woman rising, the men rising. Even speaking about this, like, I have joy and happiness as to where humanity is going. And this is my reality and how I choose to see it. And this is really all I can say. Like, I just have positive love for humanity, and I'm just very grateful to be here having this human experience.
Yeah, well, I'm encouraged. I mean, just the fact that we have a platform like this to reach people anywhere in the world for free, as long as you've got your paying for your internet or your phone to watch YouTube or listen on a podcast. So, no, I agree with you. And that's what we're excited to be supportive of. Disclosure Fest as another event. We had an event ourselves, the Parapod Festival last year, and Disclosure Fest was, a partner in helping spread the word and find the community. So we welcome you back to this corner of the world very, very soon to be in the community here and help usher in the summer 2024. I know the spring has been just such a array of energies. It's been a mixed bag of energies, and it's so funny because we were talking about the solar storm before and the solar flares, and nobody knows that's going to happen. I mean, I think they saw the coronal mass ejection like 2 or 3 days prior to it hitting the planet, and we didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody was saying, like, check out Friday night. There's going to be aurora borealis. And what do they call aurora borealis down south of the equator? It's called something different.
No, I think it's the same.
There's another term. Yet. It's aurora something else, which we will find out and put it in the YouTube comments. But anyway, I love hearing your encouragement and your joy. And like I said, you certainly have left me that much lighter and brighter. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you and hopefully meeting you at Disclosure Fest.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Ciao. You are listening to Truth Be Told Transformation, everybody. And as mentioned, Tony Sweet is our fearless leader with his long-running show, Truth Be Told, on Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific. So gather live for him and chat with each other for sure, as well as Robert Hensley, who's always coming up with really cool, new, interesting tidbits to share on his show, The Minuteman Report. I'm Bonnie Burkert, and I am really, truly very grateful to have this platform and seeking people that are looking to help us just feel our brightest. I mean, we have the choice, right? I mean, the world is intense, and we have the choice to let it burden us, or to try to rise above and stay shiny. So I challenge you all, until the next episode, to shine on, and for sure, be sure to share and follow and like wherever you can. See you next time.